What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? It's your boy Bill. Somebody sent me this, man. Just the title of it is disgusting, but we're going to get into the story and see what happened, and let's do it.
Is 5-year-old Shania Davis. Her mother sold her for $200 to a monster. What he did to her is simply shocking, and her mother's decision to send her off like this is just as chilling. Shania's story is tragic from beginning to end. It's hard to imagine
And, bruh, we ain't even got all deep into it yet, but I'm telling y'all, when I be saying I'm scared of people, y'all be thinking I be playing, trying to be funny, bruh. This world is crazy, bruh. Your mother sold her 5-year-old daughter for 200. What?
World can go through this experience helpless, alone, and scared to death. Let's explore the horrific tale of Shania Davis and all the events that led up to her death. Shania Nicole Davis was born June 14th, 2004 in Fayetteville, North Carolina. At first, she grew up with her loving parents, Bradley Lockhart and Antoinette Davis, and her brother Carl, who was 2 years older. But as her parents split up, the siblings went on to live with their dad. Antoinette had a rough patch financially, partially due to her substance addiction, and she didn't seem ready to raise two small kids. Nevertheless, she stayed close with little Shania. Shania loved both her parents very much. She was a happy-go-lucky girl who always smiled and loved pink and yellow. She was an energetic, outdoorsy type who loved riding her scooter and making friends wherever she went. Bradley loved Shania deeply, but he had a rough life too. He was married before Antoinette to a woman named Vicky Sue. When she was only 28, she was bound, gagged, and chained, along with her sister and a friend, by a group of robbers who believed
Damn, that was his wife that he got with?
had a huge amount of cash stashed in their house. The killers were caught and sentenced to life in prison. But imagine what that does to you as a person. He had 3 children with Vicky Sue, but he didn't feel able to raise them, so they were raised by Vicky Sue's parents. Shania and Carl were the first children he raised on his own, but Shania wouldn't be in his care for long. In 2009, Shania was a kindergarten student at Morganton Road Elementary School. That year, Antoinette asked Brad to pass their daughter on to her. She was ready to be a mom. She now lived with her sister, Brenda Davis, and her boyfriend, Jeroy Smith, in their trailer home.
Her and her sister look a little crazy.
It wasn't a luxurious situation. Brenda and Jeroy had kids themselves, and they would all sleep crammed in one room so that Antoinette could take the other bedroom. However, Brad said she had asked if she could be a mother, and I felt she was sincere in asking, and I figured to give her a chance. So in September 2009, Shania and Carl went on to live with Antoinette and her sister. But Brad's sister Carrie and his other friends all pointed to the same thing. Shania did not seem well under Antoinette's care. Brian even painted a more disturbing of Antoinette. Indeed, Brian is angry at Bradley for sending Shania to live with her mother in the first place. He had seen the bad signs when she would spend as little as a weekend with her mom. So why didn't he think of the risks? Call it reckless or wanting to see the good in people.
I think that's what it was. I think you feel me? He probably just like, at the end of the day, this is her mother. This is her parent. She did carry her and have her. You know what I'm saying? So he probably just wanted to give her a chance. But I mean, if you giving her a chance and you send her for a weekend or you send her for a couple days and she come back and it's just a lot of funny seeming things now.
Trusted his ex-wife. He wanted her to have the experience of being a mother and believed she had gotten her life on track. But just 2 months would pass and Brad would regret his trusting nature for the rest of his life. It was November 10th, 2009, just before sunrise. In their Sleepy Hollow trailer home, Brenda and Jeroy woke up to what sounded like someone trying to break into their home. The sound then stopped and they went back to bed. But just a half hour...
See, it's already starting off not sounding right. Early morning, wee hours, sun ain't even up yet. Me and somebody else wake up to a sound like somebody trying to break in my house. And the sound stop and I go back to sleep. No. Because if it sound like a nigga trying to break in my house, then the sound stop. I'm going to assume he ain't trying no more. He in here. Ain't no going back to sleep. See, stuff like that, that'd be a little flaky to me off the dribble.
break into their home. The sound then stopped and they went back to bed. But just a half hour later, Antoinette burst into their room, close to tears. "Have you seen Shania?" she asked. Brenda and Jeroy jumped out of bed. This was a serious situation. A 5-year-old girl was missing. Had she been taken by whoever had come into the house half an hour earlier? Or was that sound Shania opening the door and leaving on her own? Brenda, Jeroy, and Antoinette dressed.
Regardless of what the sound is, why ain't nobody get up and do a slight investigation?
To go outside and look around. But before they left, 7-year-old Carl added something crucial. He'd seen someone else in the home shortly beforehand. When Brenda heard this, she knew Shania had been kidnapped, so she urged her sister to call 911. Shockingly, Antoinette was hesitant. Why wouldn't a mother call the police first thing when her small child is missing? Antoinette wanted to ask around and look for herself before going through with the.
Oh, so you woke up, you realized your 5-year-old baby is gone, and you want to go do investigations around the neighborhood, talking to people, asking people, and then after your 7-year-old say he saw somebody in the house, now we calling the police. No, we calling as soon as we done checked this house thoroughly. And that way it was a trailer now, so it ain't just biggest of the houses. As soon as we verify that this baby is not in this house, I'm calling the police.
Almost as if she believed she would bother the emergency services in vain. While Antoinette went outside and knocked on all the Sleepy Hollow trailer home doors, her sister and her boyfriend stayed indoors and spoke with Carl. When they asked him who he'd seen earlier that night, he said Mono. Mono was the nickname of a man called Mario McNeil. He used to date Brenda for a while.
Mono looked like about something wrong with him.
According to some sources, he gave her the money necessary for the rent deposit to move into the trailer home. Whichever the case, Mario and Brenda had called it quits. And now, Mario lived with the mother of his 18-month-old baby, April, a Turi. But Mario wasn't a family man, not by a long shot. He partook in booze, and cheating on April with every woman in Fayetteville. A few days after Shania's disappearance, he would literally tell the police that on the night between November 9th and 10th, he texted all the females in his phone. He would tell them many more things, but for now, back to our story. Brenda and Jeroy asked Carl several times if he was sure he'd seen Mono in their.
You ain't got to keep asking him no several times. Y'all heard the noise. Y'all said it sounded like somebody trying to break in the house. Y'all wake up, the 5-year-old gone, the 7-year-old say, it was Mono. In order for him to call his name out like that means he's clearly seen him multiple times and know him by that name. We ain't got to keep asking him nothing.
That night, and he said yeah. So Brenda called Mono, but he didn't answer. Then Jeroy called April, and she said Mono was not with her. Something was amiss. Meanwhile, Antoinette returned from her walk through Sleepy Hollow. She said she knocked on everyone's door, but no one seemed to have seen Shania. Again, Brenda insisted that her sister call the police, while Antoinette promised to do so.
Oh, so she still hadn't called at this point. So I guess they say she was about to call and hung up or something. Okay, Brenda, you the sister, why you ain't called? Even if the mama saying, I ain't gonna call right now. Bro, there's a 5-year-old missing. If there's a 5-year-old missing out of a house I'm in, and the mama say, we ain't gonna call the police, you a damn lie. I'm calling.
Antoinette returned from her walk through Sleepy Hollow. She said she knocked on everyone's door, but no one seemed to have seen Shania. Again, Brenda insisted that her sister call the police. While Antoinette promised to do so, Brenda and Jeroy went outside, only to notice there was feces on the railings.
Okay, ma'am, how can I help you?
I woke up this morning and my daughter was not in the house. I don't know if she walked out or I don't know what's going on, but she's not here.
How old is your daughter?
She's 5.
5? And your door was not unlocked, that's what you're telling me?
No, it was not unlocked, but I'm telling you, she knows how to unlock it. I'm hoping that she didn't unlock it and walk out.
This was happening at.
That makes no sense. You said the door was not unlocked, but she knows how to unlock it. So how would she lock it back from the outside? Oh, unless because it's a trailer. Maybe she's saying she's stuck. I don't know.
6:52 a.m. By now, Mono was long gone with Shania. Shortly after 6 a.m. that morning, Mono checked into the Comfort Inn Suites in Sanford, an hour north of Fayetteville. He used his own name and checked in on his own. However, he mentioned to the desk clerk that he was traveling with his daughter to take her up to her mom in Virginia. After checking in at 7:16 a.m., Mario returned to his car in the back of the parking lot. Then, he returned to his hotel room carrying a
What? And I wonder if this Mono nigga was like, he had to be somebody trusted or something, right? Because if the little boy seen him and he didn't panic, he didn't go wake nobody up, he had to be someone trusted. And then if the little girl been riding with him this long, you know, he carrying her, she don't look like she in a panic or nothing, you know what I'm saying? So this nigga had to be somebody trusted. I'll whoop his up.
covered in a blanket. After leaving Shania in his room, Mono returned downstairs and went to the breakfast room, where he got a banana, a muffin, and some juice. At this point, there was an Amber Alert issued for Shania. Police and search dogs were scouring Fayetteville, and people all over North Carolina were on the lookout. Such was Jacqueline Lee, the desk clerk Mono had spoken to. When he saw him walking into the hotel with Shania, she thought she resembled the kid in the Amber Alert. Her shift was ending though, so when her colleague came in, she told her to keep an eye on Mono and the girl. Back in Sleepy Hollow, detectives were interviewing Shania's family, one by one.
Dang, bro, I wish, even if it looked like the girl, man, I wish that lady, that desk clerk would have just, you know, even if you ain't want to call and make yourself hot, even if she would have just stopped by the police station, like, look, I just got off work, I just saw that Amber Alert, that little girl kind of looked like, I mean, it might not be her, but I kind of think it is.
Officer Elizabeth Culver was the first to knock on the trailer home's door, where Antoinette, Brenda, Jeroy, and the kids were at. She also observed the nasty substance on the railings, but Antoinette had poured hot water on them in an attempt to clean it.
Why? Why? If I wake up, what sense does that make? If I wake up and my 5-year-old baby missing, and I step out the door and there's feces on the railing, why would I go clean it up? I'm not cleaning nothing. That might lead to something. Antoinette on some BS.
Police also found a comforting blanket in a trash nearby. Jeroy said the blanket had been in the living room of their trailer recently. The blanket also had feces on it. When the police interviewed the family, they noticed they were all agitated in different ways. 7-year-old Carl wouldn't answer a question without looking at his aunt for approval first. He said he remembered his little sister coming to bed on November 9th, but he didn't remember her leaving the bedroom. However, he'd seen Mono inside the trailer park. But when the officers wanted to corroborate this story with Antoinette and Brenda, they hit a dead end. They were both looking at their phones and texting all the time, almost ignoring the cops in the room. So Elizabeth Culver decided to bring...
Yeah, they on some funny stuff. Her and her sister. Everybody need to go down. And I ain't even finished the story.
Almost ignoring the cops in the room. So Elizabeth Culver decided to bring them to the police station.
If I was that police, I'd have snatched them damn phones out of their hand. Hey, this is an ongoing serious investigation where there's a baby missing and y'all sitting here texting. Ain't no texting. Give me the phone. Put it on the table.
Elizabeth Culver decided to bring them to the police station for an official interview. As Antoinette and Brenda were being driven down, Elizabeth and her partner Daniel looked at the CCTV footage around their trailer home. But it was the CCTV footage at the Comfort Inn Hotel that would reveal the most. At 7:34 a.m., Mono left room 201, carrying Shania on his shoulder as he went into the elevator. He was still holding her this way as he left the hotel and walked down the sidewalk. When he exited the hotel, Matthew Argyle, the maintenance worker, noticed him and the girl, who seemed to be in a deep sleep. He said, "Hello?" trying to get Mono's attention, but he just looked back at Matthew and said nothing. Matthew thought Mono was creepy, so he followed him subtly to the parking lot. Mono put Shania in the rear right passenger side of his car. Then he got...
Why ain't nobody reported it? I thought he was creepy, laying there with a little girl, but I just followed him. Nigga, say something, nigga.
to the driver's seat and lit up a cigarette. After he finished his cigarette, Mano drove to the front entrance of the hotel, where he entered on his own. He approached the new desk clerk, Regina, and asked her for a security deposit. He said he was going to drive her daughter to her mom in Virginia, as she'd told Jacqueline earlier. Regina handed him a receipt and off he went. Shortly after, a housekeeper came down to the reception to hand Regina something. She'd just cleaned room 201, and she found 2 small clear open plastic packets with white powder residue inside, possibly bags. When Regina saw the Amber Alert too, she called the police. Around 8 a.m., Mano was driving down a highway when he texted Brenda, "Hey." It was in reply to her own "hey" some hours ago when they were trying to get a hold of him. But by now, Brenda was being interrogated at the police station, and Mano's phone was being tracked. So Brenda wrote back to Mano, but their conversation was supervised. Brenda, "You been to my house?" Mano, "No, why?" Brenda, "You lying." Mano, "No. Can I come though?" Brenda, "Hell no." Mano, "Damn, it's like that? Him there?" Brenda, "Don't text me no mo." Mano, "Sure, whatever. Who your baby dad call my baby, my asking for me. What the hell is going?"
These texts just sound like some bullshit.
It's funny. Mano was calling Brenda out for reaching out to April and asking about his whereabouts. Well, it's not really funny because he had Shania's dead body in his car. When the police made their way to the Comfort Inn after Regina called the Amber Alert hotline, room 201 had been partially cleaned. The trash had been taken out and the towels had been removed, but the bedding had not been changed yet. Other detectives analyzed the hotel's CCTV footage and concluded Mano was with Shania. FBI agent Frank Brostrom was in charge of analyzing Mano's phone records. In the late afternoon of November 10th, Frank arrived at Sleepy Hollow together with the local police. By the end of the day, they had tracked Mano and Shania to the Highway 87 area between Spring Lake and Sanford. Also by the end of the day, Brenda had finally told the cops Carl had seen Mano at the trailer house the night.
Why the fuck would you just now be telling them this? Why you ain't, a bell never clicked in your head that this is some information that they should probably know?
Brenda also said she saw Mano trying to talk to Antoinette shortly before the incident. Antoinette's response to the police, "I don't have shit to say to you. I just want to know where my mother effing baby's at."
Nah, you know where she at, motherfucker.
November 12th, Mano was found and arrested. His car was taken in as evidence and thoroughly analyzed by a forensics team. Shania had been missing for over 2 days now, but detectives were still hopeful she was alive. Mano was interviewed, but told he was free to go if he wanted to. He wasn't cuffed, and his phone wasn't taken away. In fact, he was allowed to use it during interview breaks. It was during this interview that he said he was the cheating type. This is how he justified that he was out on the streets on the night between November 9th and November 10th. However, he denied visiting Brenda's trailer home that night and denied knowing who Shania was.
How the hell you go? What? You denied knowing who the little girl was, but you used to date Brenda. You done been over there 100 times, nigga. Even the 7-year-old saw you and called you out by your nickname. So you know them, stupid nigga.
He dated Brenda. He was at her home several times. He knew Antoinette's kids all too well. He denied knowing Shania, taking her, driving her, and even visiting the Comfort Inn hotel. When the cops showed him a photo of him at the hotel, he still denied it. When they showed him the hotel records of a Mario McNeil checking in on the morning of November 10th, Mano said maybe he'd lost his ID and someone else checked in with it. However, 54 minutes later, he admitted he was there with Shania. That night, he said he received a text message from Brenda's phone to come to Sleepy Hollow and pick Shania up on the porch. He did as he was told, then drove.
What sense does that? I mean, I don't know though. I don't know, cause I'm the type of nigga I ask questions. You know what I'm saying? You're not just finna text me wee hours of the night, hey, come pick this 5-year-old up off the porch. Bitch, what? Why the fuck is she on the porch? Why the fuck you ain't call her mama? What the fuck y'all got going on? I'm gonna ask questions. You ain't just telling me. I ain't doing as I'm told. You ain't my damn mama.
to the hotel where he took white powder. Then Mono said he got a call from an unknown person instructing him to take Shania to a dry cleaning establishment at the corner of Country Club Drive and Ramsey Street. He said he delivered Shania to a group of people driving a gray Nissan Maxima. Then Mono said he was waiting for a call to come and kill her. FBI agent Frank Brostrom asked him to expand on that, but he would not. But Brenda hadn't texted Mono to pick Shania up, and no unknown people had messaged or called him either. At the end of the interview, Mono was arrested and charged with the murder of Shania Davis. When it came to Antoinette, the interviews were filled with even more lies. First,
The fuck type of nigga even have a desire for something like a 5-year-old? You sick fuck nigga. And her mama sitting here lying.
blamed her exes, her friends, and all those around her for everything that had gone wrong in her life.
Ain't no fucking excuse. We don't care about what went wrong in your life. Motherfucker, we want to know where the 5-year-old at.
She was distracted and tried to distract the police officers from the actual question. What happened to Shania? Then she went quiet. As the cops confronted her with more and more evidence, she kept saying, "I don't have shit to say to you," as if they knew where Shania was but didn't want to tell her. It was the other way around. Only she could shed some light. But these detectives were well versed in homicide investigations, so they knew when and where to apply pressure and how to get Antoinette to confess. Finally, she revealed her daughter had never been kidnapped. She pimped her out to Mono for
What? It say she pimped her out. Hold on, bro.
never been kidnapped. She pimped her out to Mono for a meek $200. She said, "I gave her to him to cover $200. He was only supposed to have sex."
You gave your fucking 5-year-old to a nigga for $200, and you're saying he was only supposed to have sex as if that's justified. Stupid bitch.
Initial reports claimed that Antoinette owed Mono money for drugs through Cumberland County District Attorney Bill West later stated that this was not true. He said Mono had lent Antoinette $200 to buy food and pay for a hotel room when she and her children found themselves homeless. In either case, Antoinette didn't have the money to pay Mono back. The intoxicated man told her he either wanted money or sex, and that's when Antoinette offered him Shania.
So if the nigga, you owe a nigga $200. He drunk and he tweaking. He saying, "I want my money back or I want that thing busted open." And you ain't got the money to give him. You do it. What you bring a 5-year-old baby into it for? We know you done took a couple on for the free before for less than $200. So why you gotta bring the baby into it? Why you didn't just bend over on the couch and handle that business? People is sick fucks out here, bro.
Either wanted money or sex. And that's when Antoinette offered him Shania. She was 5 years old. Antoinette claimed that she tried to stop Mono from taking her daughter that night, but Billy West doesn't believe her.
How the hell you tried to stop him from taking her if you just agreed?
Remember the feces found on the blanket and on the railings? According to him, this is proof Shania was hurt at her home.
That's sickening, bro. So basically he did what he did to the baby at the house. She was okay with that happening. But he was trying to take her too, and she didn't want her to take him. That is so fucking sick and cringe.
I don't even know what to say about this, you guys. It is sickening that anyone would do this to a small child, but to think a mother could sell off her daughter this way?
And bro, this the type shit why I be saying, like, I got my little boy, but I don't even know if I ever want kids again. People's mind is just sick, bro.
Unspeakable. He was only supposed to have sex, as if that would have been a fair debt settlement. How would have Shania lived with this experience, knowing her mother let her be violated to get out of paying $200? Antoinette Davis was charged with human trafficking, conspiracy, kidnapping, sexual servitude, taking indecent liberties with a minor, and second-degree murder. On November 15th, one of the investigators handling this case called Alan Rogers, Mono's attorney. The police had received some vague tips about finding Shania's body from Rogers, but this was a sort of telephone game. As Mono's attorney, Rogers wasn't supposed to help the police convict his client, so he gave the DA some tips, and the DA told the police about this. Now the investigator wanted Rogers to speak up. Shania's body had to be found. After multiple back and forth phone calls, Rogers pointed the police to the spot in the woods they should be looking at. A big search team scoured the area for 2 days straight. At around 1 p.m. on November 16th, a week after Shania's disappearance, her body was found under a log by an officer and his search dog.
Found her? Right here. All right, I'll call him. Call command and tell him. Lock up the area. We got a tip. Somebody in the parking lot said that they had heard on the news or something that the guy admitted to killing the young child and dumping her where there was deer carcasses and trash.
She was simply dumped in a shedded area near the intersection of Highway 87 and Walker Road. Mono hadn't even gone through the trouble of digging a hole.
Now I really want to whoop this Mono nigga ass, bro.
Partially naked, and around her were indeed deer carcasses and trash.
I don't even know. I'm a little overwhelmed right now, so it's a lot. I'm just, I'm glad we were able to help.
Mario McNeil was charged with first-degree murder. His reaction?
Now, according to the Fayetteville Observer, McNeil says his lawyer should not have told police where to find the girl, saying it hurt his case.
Mono showed no remorse and said no apology.
That nigga, fuck you. I'm glad your lawyer helped the police. No remorse, no apology. That nigga embarrassed. He ashamed. Fuck type of grown-ass man want to do anything with a 5-year-old. Get your bitch ass home.
For doing the absolute worst to Shania. He loved being the center of attention. He continued to smirk and grimace at the cameras whenever they would film him in court. The Fayetteville police also found explicit images of a young girl on Mono's phone. He was the absolute worst. Yet, he fought tooth and nail to get a light punishment. He filed pretrial motions to avoid the prosecution from seeking the death penalty. He used the North Carolina Racial Justice Act. Yeah, right.
Ain't shit gonna work, bitch ass nigga.
Like that has anything to do with beating and killing a child. He recanted all statements made to officers and faked agreements between him and the prosecution, but none of his motions were accepted. His trial was truly chilling for all those who knew and loved Shania. These poor people had to listen to accounts of gruesome SA and murder. When Mono was done with Shania, he simply choked her and then carried her limp body through the hotel as if she was simply asleep. The calm way he presented her as his daughter to the desk clerks and the way he simply ignored the maintenance man as he carried a child's body inches away from him is hard to fathom. But imagine you're Shania's dad listening to all this.
I can never get Shania back. You get taken that from me. The time is 43.
I know her dad, bro, probably still kicking himself in the ass about this, bro. I know he probably regret to his core sending his baby back with her mama. Damn, bro, I know that's a terrible feeling, my boy.
Not healed or diminished this pain. I think about those last seconds. And you was the last thing my daughter got to look at.
Did Shania know?
I ain't gonna lie, I would have charged that nigga in court. I would have charged that nigga. I would have just had to get a little a disrupting court charge. Man, I'd have tried to jump over that pew and whoop that nigga ass.
Her own mother picked
And
her
her
out
mom.
and facilitated her death. If she did, it's the worst possible death I can imagine.
Man, a mockery of this court. Laughing and joking like this is a joke. Shania wasn't a joke, but her legacy is going to live on. You didn't win. I could be angry and evil towards you. It's not going to fix this problem. You didn't win. Shania won because she's still going to be speaking out, protecting people against people like you. Other little kids.
Exactly. Brad and the rest of Shania's family would go on to raise awareness around her case and try to encourage other families to protect their children from kidnapping and neglected parents. Mario McNeil was charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, SA of a young child, and a dozen other charges. The verdict was simple.
The jury has returned as its recommendation as to the defendant, Mario McNeil, that he be sentenced to death.
And the judge? Well, he delivered one of the most heartfelt conclusions I've ever heard.
You did not have to kill that child. Take him out of here now. I apologize for referring to Shania as the victim, for talking about Shania's body. I apologize for you having to go through any of this.
Indeed, he didn't waste too much time speaking to Mono. There was nothing he could do to change him. He was evil, plain and simple. Instead, he addressed Brad and the rest of the family, knowing they needed all the comfort and closure they could get.
I can't give you justice. This jury has given you what we as humans, the best we as humans can do to give you justice. Justice would be that I could reverse all of this. I said a prayer for you every night of this trial, and I will continue to do so.
There was one last chapter left to close this case. At the time of the arrest, Antoinette was pregnant. Yep, you heard that right. When she...
Don't be in the fucking courtroom crying now. You wasn't crying when you gave a nigga your baby for $200. I don't care nothing about your tears. Them crocodile tears. Them scammer tears.
That right. When she gave birth to the child, it was taken from her and put into foster care.
As it should
She
have.
faced a long list of charges, but entered Alfred pleas, not pleading guilty, but admitting that the state has adequate evidence to convict her.
Damn, she pregnant during the time of the trial. Whoever got you pregnant must didn't know about this. And if he did, he's a fucking scumbag too. Nigga ain't even supposed to want to hit that no more.
Second-degree murder, human trafficking, conspiracy, kidnapping, sexual offense, sexual servitude, and taking indecent liberties with a minor. At the end of her sentencing, she said,
I did the best I could with my children.
You ain't, dude.
I never said I was a perfect mother, but I was a good mother. I did what I had to provide.
No, you didn't. You was not a good mother, and you did not do what you had to do. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You're lying.
I did what I had to make sure it was all right.
You're lying.
Because I didn't have any help
You're lying.
from anybody.
You're
You
lying.
sold your 5-year-old daughter as a sex slave. No, you were not a good mother, Antoinette. And yes,
Absolutely.
you did have help from a lot of people. And they were all better caretakers than you. Judge Jim Ammons told her,
You could have saved your daughter's life, and you did not. You had the time, the opportunity, and the means to save Shania's life, and you did not. You are not a good mother.
Absolutely.
This did
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Judge. This shit sleep got me pissed off for real, boy.
not a good mother. This did not have to happen. Take her away, please.
a good mother is making a few mistakes, but good intentions. A good mother is caring for her child no matter what and doing her best to provide care, attention, and nurture. Antoinette might be one of the worst mothers out there. In July 2011, she was sentenced to 17 years in prison.
Fucking 17 years. What is that? You sold your baby.
She will also have to register as a sex offender once she is released. But as Mono's judge said, there is little justice in convicting these two people. It's good they're off the streets, but imagine the pain Brad, little Carl, and the rest of Shania's family have to live with. Brad was seen crying and borderline collapsing at the court hearings and candlelit vigils for his daughter.
Lord, I come to you with open arms, and it's hard. It's hard. It's hard, man. It's hard.
Bradley Lockhart could hardly speak. His legs shaking, he was held up by friends and by a crowd of hundreds around him.
Don't give up on me and don't give up on Shania. She right there with you.
People flooded a shopping center parking lot on Murchison Road, lighting candles in remembrance of 5-year-old Shania Davis.
Just bless her and bless those who did not know no better.
She was laid to rest at Fayetteville Memorial Cemetery with the inscription, God's Angel, called home. In a tragic twist, Shania's half-brother, Chavez Lockhart, was to death on May 25th, 2017. He was 20 years old and buried next to his little sister.
A family dealing with the unthinkable for a second time, the loss of a child.
8 years after the body of 5-year-old Shania Davis was found in Sanford, her older half-brother was shot and killed.
Chavez was killed at 9:30 p.m. at a different trailer park home. While inside his car, 2 teen boys were arrested for his murder. According to Sheriff Hubert Petterkin, drugs may have been involved in the murder motive. This is simply shocking. Remember Chavez's mother, Vicky Sue, had also been killed along with her sister in a home robbery? It's hard to imagine how this family lives with this amount of tragedy.
Shit crazy, bro.
In an interview with Oprah, Brad was asked if he would ever speak to Antoinette again. He said, "I just think it's best that we let the justice system take its course. I try to keep my heart as pure as possible, and I'm sure that one day I will be able to sit down and talk with her and try to understand what was going through her mind."
I wouldn't give a fuck what was going through your mind. If I sit down and talk to you, you're going to think I'm the fucking Rock from WWF, the way I'm about to lay a smack down on your ass.
Brad seems very wise considering what he went through. He's hoping that Shania's awful death will help keep other children safe through awareness and togetherness.
I can't even do a damn proper outro. That shit done pissed me off.